First of all, we're from the first group. I'm Yuniarti Kartika from Class A. I want to tell you about the definition of semantics. Semantics is the study of meaning in language. The term is taken from the Greek seme, meaning sign. The word meaning can be defined in many ways, but the definition most pertinent to linguistics and the one we will use is that meaning is the function of signs in language. This understanding of meaning corresponds to German philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein's definition. The meaning of a word is its use in the language. In other words, the role a word plays in the language. Based on Wikipedia, semantics is the branch of linguistics and logic concerned with the meaning. There are a number of branches and sub-branches of semantics, including formal semantics, which studies the logical aspects of meaning, such as sense, reference, implication, and logical form. Lexical semantics, which studies word meanings and word relation, and conceptual semantics, which studies the cognitive structure of meaning. Semantics by the experts. Lyons, 1977 say, semantics is the study of meaning. Herford and Heasley, 1983 say, semantics is the study of meaning in language. Said, 1997 said, semantics is the study of meaning communicated through language. Loebner, 2002, said, semantics is the part of linguistics that is concerned with meaning.
Hello, this is Kartika Ratna Sophia. I'm going to tell you about locating semantics within linguistics. Locating semantics within linguistics. Importance of semantics to language. As we know, language faculty has sound, form, and meaning. Sound has a phonetics and phonology. Form has words and syntax. And last, meaning has semantics and pragmatics. How is the semantics studied? Lexical semantics can be defined as the study of meaning, right? Therefore, semantics are interested in lexical meaning of words. Rather than grammatical meaning, it is not so much a practical topic, but one that requires thinking rather than doing and does not really require any experiment. Semantic competence in linguistics. It consists of the ability to judge which string of words from grammatical sentences. Similarly, semantic competence consists of the ability to determine the meaning of a particular string of words. Since a particular string of words may correspond to more than one syntactical structure, we can take semantic competence to consist of the ability to determine the meaning of a particular syntactic structure. In the last 20 to 30 years, there have been changes in the traditional ways of studying semantics. Chomsky linguistics and the nativist view sees all semantic notions as inherent. However, this view was thought of as being unable to address many issues such as metaphor and semantic change, where meanings within linguistics change over time. On the other hand, cognitive linguistics views semantic as an innate, finite meaning inherent in a lexical unit, which can be used to gain raw meaning. This challenge to the traditional Chomsky views is motivated by a factor external to language. Language is not a set of labels stuck onto in things but a toolbox, the importance of whose elements lie in the way they function rather than their attachment to things. Syntax trees as a means of studying semantics. Semantics also uses our theoretical knowledge of how language works on a broader level to explain and firmly not how meaning works. We can present how words are arranged in the unarranged structure drawing syntax trees. There is a structural difference of the tree when coming to syntax trees that have to do with semantics, as the sentences used in order to draw the trees are ambiguous.
Hello, my name is Amelia Yustina F. I'm going to tell you about semantic theories. Semantic theories. The task of explaining the main approaches to semantic theory in contemporary philosophy of language may seem to face an in principle stumbling block. Given that two languages have the same semantics, it may seem hard to say how we can say anything about different views about semantics in general. As opposed to views about the semantics of this or that language, this problem has a relatively straightforward solution. While it is of course correct that the semantics for English is one thing that the semantics for French something else, most assume that the various natural languages should all have semantic theories of the same form. The aim of the follows will accordingly to be introduced the readers to main approaches to natural language semantics, the main views about the right form for semantics of our natural language to take some particular expression. One caveat before we get started. Before semantic theory sets off to explain the meanings of the expression of some language, she needs to clear the idea of what she is supposed to explain the meaning of. That might not seem to present much a problem. Aren't the bearers of meaning just the sentence of the relevant language? And their parts? This is correct as far as it goes, but the task of explaining what the semantically significant parts of sentence are and how those parts combine to form the sentence is an enterprise which is far from trivial and has important consequences for semantics theory. Indeed, most disputes about the right semantics treatment of some class of expression are intertwined with the question about the syntactic form of sentence in which those expressions figure.
Hello, my name is Agustina and I'm going to tell you about kinds of meaning in semantic. Is conceptual meaning. Conceptual meaning is logical, cognitive, or denotative content. Take the word walk as an example. The conceptual meaning or the primary dictionary meaning is to move forward. The second is connotative meaning. Connotative meaning, what is communicated by virtue of what language refers to. The connotatives for the word snake could include evil or danger. The third is social meaning. Social meaning, what is the communicator of the social circumstances of language use. Like saying hello or talking about the weather. Often such talk has little dictionary meaning. It is a way of being friendly or polite. The fifth is reflective meaning. Reflective meaning, what is communicated through association with another sense of the same expressions. Colloquial, emotive meaning of chronic. Sometimes such coincidental, unwanted meanings cause us to change a lexical item for another. The sixth is collocative meaning. Collocative meaning, what is communicated through association with words which tend to occur in the environment of another word. Heavy schedule, it means a very tight schedule.
Hello, my name is Nurul Hidayah and I'm going to tell you about semantics, the study of meaning. The study of meaning can be undertaken in various ways. Speakers of a language have an implicit knowledge about what is meaningful in their language, and it is easy to show this. Three disciplines are concerned with the systematic study of meaning in itself: psychology, philosophy, and linguistics.
Nature of language. All animals have some system for communication with other members of their species, but only humans have a language which allows them to produce and understand every new message and to do without any outside stimulus. Bees, birds, dolphins, and chimpanzees, among other animals, transmit and interpret a fixed number of messages that signal friendliness or hostility, the presence of food or of danger, or have to do with mating and care of offspring. Demonstrating semantic knowledge. The following demonstrate 7 aspects of any speaker's semantic knowledge. 1 is meaningful in English. 2. Speakers of a language generally agree as to when two sentences have essentially the same meaning and when they do not. 3. Speakers generally agree when two words have essentially the same meaning in a given context. 4. Speakers recognize when the meaning of one sentence contradicts another sentence. 5. Speakers generally agree when two words of opposite meanings in a given context. 6. Some sentences have double meanings. They can be interpreted in two ways. 7. Speakers are aware that two statements may be related in such a way that if one is true, the other must also be true.
Hello, this is Kurnia Melinda speaking. I'm going to tell you about utterance. Utterance meaning. Utterance in bahasa is ujaran. Utterance in spoken language analysis, an utterance is the smallest unit of speech. It is a continuous piece of speech beginning and ending with a clear pause. In the case of oral language, it is generally but not always bounded by silence. Characteristic utterance is: first, it is spoken; second, physical even; third, may be grammatical or not; fourth, meaningful or meaningless; 5. By specific person or in particular accent; 6. By specific time or on particular occasion; and last, a piece of language, a single phrase, or even a single word. A police officer telling stop is an utterance. Saying good boy to your dogs is an utterance. Even a long speech by president is utterance. If you can hear it, it's not an utterance.
My name is Cahyani Octavia. In here, I will talking about proposition. Proposition is a sentence expressing something true or false. And also, a proposition is an abstraction that can be grasped by the mind of an individual person. In case, proposition an object of thought, but do not equate proposition with thought, because thoughts are usually held to be private, personal, or mental process, whereas a proposition is not a process. For example, there are 3 different sentences. First, John ate the apple. Second, the apple was eaten by John. Third, John ate the apple. The 3 different sentences are called proposition, and then we can conclude that proposition is interpreted as a basic statement that is still in the abstraction of the mind of the speaker.
Hello, this is Salsa speaking, and I'm going to tell you guys about reverence. Reverence has 2 definitions. First, the symbolic relationship that a linguistic expression has with the concerned object or abstraction it represents. Second, the relationship of one linguistic expression to another. and which one provides the information necessary to interpret the others. There is three types of reference. First, coreference. Second, endophora. Third, exophora. First, coreference. Coreference is the reference in one expression to the same referent in another expression. For example, you said you would come. You have the same referent. Next, endophora. Endophora is a coreference of an expression with another expression either before it or after it. One expression provides the information necessary to interpret the others. Kinds of endophora. First, cataphora. Cataphora is a coreference of one expression with another expression which follows it. The following expression provides the information necessary for interpretation of the preceding one. For example, a towel is an information for one. Second, anaphora. Anaphora is a coreference of one expression with its antecedent. The antecedent provides the information necessary for the expression's interpretation. For example, well-dressed man is the information for he. Next, exophora. Exophora is the reference of an expression directly to an extra-linguistic referent. The referent doesn't require another expression for its interpretation. Kinds of exophora. Deixis. Deixis is a reference by means of an expression whose interpretation is relative to the extra-linguistic context of the utterance, such as who is speaking, time or place of speaking. For example, next, homophora. Homophora is a reference that depends on cultural knowledge or other general knowledge, rather than on specific features of a particular context. For example,
my name is Yusria Millenia K, and after my class, I'm going to explain about sense. Sense is something processed by a name, whether or not it has a reference. For example, the name Odysseus is intelligible, and therefore has a sense, even though there is no individual object, means its reference to which the name corresponds. Fridge introduced the notion of sense to accommodate difficulties in his early theory of meaning. First, if the entire significance of a sentence consists of its third value, it follows that the sentence will have the same significance if we replace a word of a sentence. If the evening star has the same reference as the morning star, it follows that the evening star is a body illuminated by the sun. Has the same third value as the morning star is a body illuminated by the sun. But it's possible for someone to think that the first sentence is true while also thinking that the second is false. Therefore, the thought corresponding to each sentence cannot be its reference, but something else, which Fridge called its sentence. In his theory of description, Bertrand Russell held the view that most proper names in ordinary language are in fact discussed definite description. For example, Aristotle can be understood as the pupil of Plato and teacher of Alexander, or by some other uniquely applying description. This is known as the descriptive theory of names, because Fridge used definite description in many of his examples. He is often taken to have endorsed the descriptive theory.